then it causes oil to be forced out of this hose here and enter into the air intake. Guys, look at all that. Oh. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are back to work on the Corvette build, and hopefully we're able to get this thing running correctly and out of the shop, and hopefully get to drive it and have it actually on a good test drive. But as you guys know, in the last video, we got this thing pretty much put together, ready to go, but we're having one really big issue. The oil is leaking out of the car, oil is spewing, oil is burning, and the car is just overall smoking. So I did some research and I found some causes for this thing. So first of all, it seems that this is a pretty common issue, but the first thing that I want to touch base on is that this car's oil system is actually a lot different than any other car I've worked on so far. So this car has what you call a dry sump oil pan. Basically, think of it this way. Dry sump means that the oil pan that's in the car doesn't really it doesn't hold the oil that you put into the engine, so it's dry under the engine basically. A wet sump oil pan is the other type of oil pan. That's when the oil is at the bottom of the engine. So what they wanted is, the reason this car is a dry sump is because it's used for high performance cars. When you're doing cornering or braking really hard or anything, they don't want that oil slushing around and hitting parts of the engine that they don't really want oil going into. So that's why they made it into a dry sump. And it's a little bit tight over there, but that canister and that canister right there, that's what the oil is in, and that's where the oil is kept, and that's what makes the dry sump oil system. So I did some research on some forums, and what people said was happening when I filled the oil to the top of the line and it started burning oil and everything, a few things happen, I believe. So what happens is the oil actually leaves this reservoir and it overflows, and somehow it gets into the airbox. So there's oil in here, and oil probably gets into the throttle body here too. That causes the oil to come through the exhaust, and then the overflow also causes it to fall in parts of the engine. That's probably where our smoke is coming from. So there's just smoke coming from everywhere for those reasons. So what we're gonna have to do is we have to take off the airbox, make sure it's clean, get all the oil cleaned out of it, and then we're gonna go ahead and re-drain the oil and everything again. But this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill it to the halfway mark. So on the dipstick, there's a low setting and a high setting. We're gonna put it right in the middle, and that's the range. That's what we're gonna fill it to, and people in the forums say that that should work. So we're gonna give that a shot, and hopefully that fixes our issue. And then another thing we're gonna tackle is there's something rubbing in this wheel. So we're gonna clean up a little bit over here and make this workspace a little bit cleaner so we can work, and then we're gonna go ahead and tackle these issues. But the first thing I wanna go ahead and check is I wanna see how big the oil puddle is under the car. Maybe that'll give us an idea of maybe there might be something else going on, but let's just take a look. That is literally just a little tiny oil stain, so it doesn't seem to be leaking all night. So it doesn't seem we have an oil leak. It's only leaking or overflowing out. Yeah, overflowing out when the car's running. So it seems that there's just too much oil for this type of system to process. So we do have to lessen it and just put at the halfway mark. We should be fine. Hopefully that works. All right, guys. So there's two things we have to fix today. We have to fix the oil issue, and we have to fix that grinding sound coming from the side of the wheel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jack this car up, and I'm gonna see what's grinding here and see if we can get it fixed, and then we'll move on to fixing the oil. So let's jack the car up and get this wheel taken off. Guys, so I found our little grinding sound issue. If you look back here on this back side of the rotor, you can see that there's some markings here. Luckily it's not like deeply scored or anything, it's just kind of refinished, I guess you can say. But it's coming from like the center of the inside of the caliper, if you look closely. So it's coming from the center of the inside, so there might be something in the middle of the brake caliper. Maybe there's like some piece of metal or something that just got jammed in there. I think we're gonna start off by, we're actually gonna take off the caliper bracket, and we're just gonna loosen it that way and see if we can pull out the brake pads and see if we can see anything that way. So let's try that. All right, guys, let's take these pads out. I know the front pad's probably gonna be great. It's kind of tight. Oh wow, these are tightly in there. Why are they so tight? All right, guys, so I went ahead and I took apart the brakes and everything looked good. And then I realized one tiny little thing. I followed this markings and it lines up directly with this control arm. And I looked at it and it looked like that it was rubbing on it for a little bit somehow. This is an aftermarket control arm, but I also went ahead and I just tightened this up extra good make sure that there's absolutely no play net at all. So tightening it up, hopefully the little bit that I tightened it just stops it from rubbing on it, and maybe that'll do it. But I like tightened it really tight, so hopefully we're good on it now. I'm gonna go ahead and put this brake back together. As of right now, and when I spin it, there's no sounds coming, so I think we might be good on our grinding sound. So yeah. Alright guys, so everything is put back together now. I got the brakes all in. We cleaned out the metal that kind of got like tossed inside the brake pad from that control arm. It just got like slightly grazed, and I guess that's what was keep making the sound. Maybe it's an aftermarket control arm and it kind of just hit it a little bit. Maybe they didn't like make it correctly to spec. But I went ahead and I cleaned all the metal off, and I tightened this like really snug, like really tight. And as of now, there is no sound coming. As you can see though, it is extremely close to the rotor. But I checked this other side, if I can get the camera in there. You guys can see that it is, if you guys can see in there, it's like really close as well to the rotor. So I guess that's just the way they designed it on this car. But here just got a little bit too close. But I think it's fixed now, and this is good. Now we can go ahead and move on to our oil issue. So we're gonna start by draining out all the oil, and then we're gonna go ahead and put however much oil we need to get the dipstick to show the oil at the halfway mark on the dipstick. And then just for good measure, we got a new oil filter as well. So we're ready now for the oil change, so let's try this one more time. But first we need to get this wheel on so we can take that jack and get this car jacked up equally on both sides. So in 3, 2, 1. All right guys, so the wheel is now on. That's one problem fixed. Now we just have to focus on the oil, and then we should be able to get a nice smooth test drive in. Hopefully this works. All right guys, so let's go ahead and give this oil change one more shot. All right guys, it's all drained and there's a new oil filter on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, take off this air box and see if there's any oil in here. We're gonna go ahead and clean that all out, and then we're gonna go ahead and fill that until it reads just up to the halfway mark. And what I mean by that is right there in the graded surface where it says hot, just right in the middle of the O. I also took off this cap when I was draining the oil. It just helps the oil drain out a lot faster. And if you guys were wondering, how does the oil get to the engine when it's being stored in here? There's actually some lines, and in the engine itself where the oil pan is, there should be something called a scavenge pump, and that actually sucks oil from here into the engine when it needs it. So it's a pretty different system right here, and I've never seen it like this before, but it's pretty crazy. But now this line right here, it took oil. Me and my brother yesterday, we heard it, and it was coming and it pumped itself into this part of the air box. I'm not sure why it went in there, but I read on some forums that's not supposed to be in there. All right guys, so basically what happened here is when there's like excessive oil pressure or like too much oil, stuff like that, then it causes oil to be forced out of this hose here and enter into the air intake, which is not supposed to be in there. But if you take a look at this, guys, our assumptions were correct, and there's tons of oil in here that we have to clean out. Just look at all that, all the way at the bottom. So this, basically what's happening here, since there's oil in there and it was going in there, when this throttle body was opening up, oil was going into the engine, which is not good, and it was causing it to come out the exhaust and burn through there, and then other oil was falling in here and causing it to, it was just a big mess. Everything was smoking and burning. So we have to take this off, give all this stuff a nice clean, and hopefully everything on this car is okay. I'm looking at all the head gaskets and everything. Nothing seems like there's oil dripping anywhere, so I think we're all good on that. I don't think we blew any head gaskets. I think we are okay. Look at the... Oh my gosh. God. Oh no. Take the whole... Oh gosh. And then just take the whole thing. Take the whole thing. Oh, guys, look at all that. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That is not good. Yeah, no, that oil's supposed to be in your engine.
Oh no. A lot of oil went in there. Oh, snap.
No way.
Oh, that's not good.
So that's a new system. I guess we're gonna learn this way.
Yeah, this is a completely new system. It's just strange that, I guess the way to solve this, what I did last time is I filled it to this top line here. According to some forums, that's what, sometimes that'll cause that problem of oil overflowing. So they're saying don't fill it up to here, fill it up to here, and everything should be great. So that's what we're gonna try. And I saw, according to some forums, it looks like this is a common issue. It happens to a lot of people.
Too far up into it, so we don't even have to take this off.
Yeah, I'm gonna unscrew this though, just to make sure, guys. So he's gonna go up, get that cleaned out. My brother's gonna go ahead, get this cleaned out.
There's still oil.
Look at all that, guys. That's all oil in there. Wow, not good at all. I've never seen anything like this happen before. Absolutely crazy. Don't fill it to the top of that line, guys, because this might happen to you. Fill it to the middle part, and hopefully, according to the forums, that should help us and that should work. But we picked up on it very quickly. As soon as we saw the white smoke, we were like, yeah, there's way too much oil, so everything should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take off this part here, get this cleaned out, whatever's in there, and clean up any oil that fell over here into the engine bay. So I'm just gonna go ahead, set up the time lapse, and let's get all this stuff cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead and start filling it with some oil. And I know that is gonna be very nerve-wracking, but let's do it. Alright guys, so me and my brother went ahead and we got everything cleaned out, and it's looking really amazing now in there. Everything is now free of oil, and then when we start the car, if there's a bit of smoke, it's just residual that's probably still inside over here in the engine if it made its way through, or probably if it's like in like really tight areas in here, it's just residual. But we got most of it out, and you guys saw there was a lot surprisingly in there. But one thing I just noticed is one of these heat shields for the headers has a bolt missing. So luckily I have a screw or a bolt that I can replace it with, and we can get that tightened up good too. So now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get this tightened up with the wrench. All we have to do now, guys, is we have to just fill the oil, put some gas in this thing. We brought some premium fuel right there, so we'll go ahead, we'll put that in there too. So let's just go ahead, tighten up that bolt, put oil in here, and then we'll fill with gas. So we're almost there, guys. It's almost time to start this thing once again, so hopefully everything goes well. All right guys, so now that everything has been cleaned up, all the oil is drained, the filter is replaced, it's time for the moment of truth, guys. It's time to put some more oil back into this engine. This time we're going to be actively watching this dipstick to make sure that we go directly in the middle of where it's supposed to be at. We don't want too low or too much. We're going to just try to get it in the middle, and hopefully nothing overflows and we're all good. Let's just go ahead and start by putting some oil in here. Alright guys, so I put 1.5 gallons of oil in here, and pretty much we have the right amount of oil that we should. We have it almost right at the middle of the grade. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna start the car, let it run for about like 10 seconds, and then we're gonna turn it off, then we're gonna let it settle for a bit and check the level of the oil, see if it goes down. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start this thing up now. There might be a little bit of white smoke just from like residuals and stuff that was in the intake and whatever, but it should be good. We're gonna start it up, let it run for 10 seconds, then kill it, and then we're gonna check the level. So let's see how this goes.
Stop smoking.
I'm a little nervous still because I want to see if the level is reading good. I don't want to, because last time we did it, like skyrocketed the level.
The airbox was making the noise and it's not.
Oh my god. I know, that was really bad. When it was making a noise in the airbox, that was like it overflowing, but
yeah, now it's not. So it's like
yeah, this tube is silent. Nothing happening.
Nothing happening here. That's good news.
All right, guys. So while we wait for the car to settle down and have the oil settle back, so we can see the actual level of it, what we're gonna do is they took the logo off the rear bumper of the car, but they left the scratched up one on the front bumper. So just temporarily, we're gonna take it off and put it here, just so we have a emblem back there. It's a little bit bigger, I think, but it'll just work a little temporarily. Right there. All right, guys. Let's see. The car had a fair bit of time to settle down, so let's see what the oil looks like now. Oh, I teased you. Yeah, let's see what it looks like.
What a tease. It looked a little oil. I mean, it looked a little lower.
A little oil?
It didn't look like drenched.
Oh, it needs more oil. The oil is right here, and it's supposed to be over here. So I guess we need to add just a little bit more. I'm scared to. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and put this back in here and add a little bit more oil. Hopefully we don't start burning oil again, because this is really weird.
Well, there's no oil in the air filter, so that's
a good thing. Let's go ahead and reset the oil life to 100%. right, 100%. Tires look good. So we're waiting for this to get to 170 and then we're gonna turn off the car. Also, I just checked the gas. It's low, but it says that it has 28 miles in the tank. Right there, fuel range 28 miles. The smoking stopped up here, okay, so we're good. Coolant temp looks good. Pressure looks good. Oil temp is going up. It's looking good. Everything, RPM's looking good. All right, guys, I'm gonna give it a few revs just to get the temperatures kind of going up a little bit, get stuff moving a little bit more, get stuff lubricated. And also just to hear the sound of it, but mainly those other things. Wow, a lot of oil got into a lot of stuff. Oh gosh, a lot of smoke. It's really hard to capture the smoke on camera. All right, guys, that's the oil pressure. The temperature for the oil is at the right temperature. Engine, the coolant, gas, RPMs, everything looks good. Let's kill it and wait 5 to 10 minutes and then we'll check it. Let's see how the oil's looking. It's right here. And it should be over here. So what, do we add more?
I don't know. Should we?
I'm stumped. Because it's still puffing white smoke, which it's residual probably, but I don't know why it's still puffing for so long. It's sounding a lot better. I know it sounds better. Yeah. So as you can see, the temperature went down a little bit, so we'll let that rise up a little bit.
Not a single bit of smoke. Look.
It's clean. Dude. I think we almost got it. All right, guys, 10 minutes have elapsed. Lapsed. All right, let's see. Let's dip this in here and see if we have a good reading in the graded area. If not, then we just have to add a little bit. It's just, oh, it's right there. It's right at the beginning of the.
Should we leave it?
I have to put a little bit more in there.
Okay, just a little bit more.
All right, guys, so this should be the last time we're starting this car up for the oil check. And next time we start this thing up, it should be for the test drive. So let's start this thing up, let it get to temp, and then we turn it off, wait 5-10 minutes, check the oil, and if everything looks good, we go for the test drive. Smells nice. It's funky smells. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells like really funky. All right, guys. It appears that it is up to temp now. So we kill it and we wait 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It's in the halfway. It's right there, guys.
I am good with that.
I'm good with that as well. It is halfway there, and
that's close enough.
We're gonna check back in it in another 5 minutes. That way it makes a total of 10. And then another thing we're gonna do is after we check back in this in 5 more minutes, if everything still looks good, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up just this top part of the air intake. We're gonna check it out, just make sure that there's no oil that went in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the first test drive, hopefully with no grinding sound and no smoke. All right, guys, it's been 10 minutes. So hopefully everything is now good with the oil. And it's in the graded surface, guys. We are good. All right, guys, so the last step now is to just take off the front of this air filter and see if there's any oil in there. If there's no oil, then it's gonna be a good day. All right.
Not much.
A very slight bit, which is fine because it could have just came from the inside of the engine. There's none at the bottom. It was just in this little accordion looking thing. So we can tighten this up. And I think we are good, guys.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. All right, guys. So we are now officially ready for the first official test drive with everything now fixed on the car. We picked up a new fire extinguisher that has extinguisher juice in it because somehow our old one got expired or something. Like, it didn't have anything in it. It said it was empty on the gauge. So we got a new one right here, and we're gonna start this thing up and give it a good test drive. Hopefully no smoke and no grinding sounds. Should be good. So let's go ahead and start the first test drive on this thing. Alright, guys, here it goes. No smoke, no rubbing.
Fuel level low. Service airbag.
Dude, I can't believe it. It's running.
Oh, it sounds so nice. Oh, it shifted.
It shifted super smooth. Alright, guys, we got the new camera angle set up because the GoPro died. So, okay, hopefully we can have a good test drive. Okay. The temps are good. Oil pressure is good. Oil temperature is good. Everything is looking good so far. Turn signal works too. Alignment is really spotty right now though. It's like jumping around all over the place. Well, let's try something. Again. Oh, smoke. There it is again, smoke. Hold on, let it run. I'm just gonna let it run.
Okay. I'll step outside.
I know. We're gonna let it burn. I'm not gonna turn it off this time.
Coolant though.
Yeah. We're good on coolant. Everything's good. This hose is silent. Nothing happening there. There's still oil in the intake, obviously, so we gotta let that burn out. Let's try reverse.
Okay, go drive now.
It's getting really smoky in here.
It's burning it. Try to hit 4th gear over here.
We're in 3rd right now. That's 4th gear.
That was nice.
Everything is in temp though, guys. We're kind of just letting it kind of burn through all the oil.
Yeah, I think it just has to burn.
Because we know the oil level and everything is good now, so we just know it's residual.
Wait, slow down for a second. Let it just like, you know, set in there for a second.
Let's do it over there.
Okay.
No, I think it's definitely dying down. It's not giving off as much smoke as
Do you
before.
want to go more or no?
Let it idle here for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's let it idle here for a bit.
Let's go outside and look at that engine real quick. 100% better.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better, guys.
Like,
Look at that.
Not so bad.
Oh, it's barely, before it was so much more. We know that the oil level is good, so I'm not scared about there being too much oil now. Now we just know that it's burning off whatever oil was in this stuff, because there's a lot going on here. But all this is looking good. Nothing is wet. Everything seems good. Manual works. Oh, it's gonna pop, dude.
The smoke isn't so bad.
I'm just looking at the temps. Everything is normal, even the oil pressure. So far, so good.
First fuel.
So the plan right now is everything is in temp, like everything is good, no leaks, no nothing. So there's a gas station down the street. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this car up with this gas, and then we're gonna drive down there and give it a full tank. I'm gonna drive it down there, and if everything looks good and everything, then my brother, who's behind the camera right now, he's gonna take the wheel and take it back to the house, and we'll meet him there. So hopefully everything goes well, and yeah, let's just get some gas in this thing. Drink up.
Still filling up.
Yes, might be able to make it home with this tank.
You think?
No, I'll give it a full tank. Alright guys, it looks like we're done. Oh no, it's stuck.
Pull it out.
That worked.
Dude.
The car cannot do with the low battery.
It's not gonna drive fast.
No, it will, but I think the booster box might have to stay on.
Okay, we can do that. Let's do it right now.
Because it's the battery's like cutting out and everything.
Yeah, let's do
The
it.
wipers are coming on.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't you, dude. It's not even raining.
Alright guys, I just did a pull, as you guys saw back there, and the car is idling here, not really much smoke right now. If you take a look at the back of the car, there's not much smoke. I think the smoke is starting to go away. Look at that, the smoke is pretty much gone. Just a little bit left, not much. And also I do have to say, something about new radiators just looks so amazing. First drive on the main road for the Grand Sport. This is exciting. First drive. So far so good. Alright guys, just finished up filling it. Ready to hit the road.
Go ahead, have the honors.
It wants you to do it. Alright. Guys, we're giving my brother an escort home. Take a look at that beast vehicle. Mean. Alright, I'll see you guys at the house. Good. Come on. Alright guys, well we made it home with the Corvette, but it is getting really late right now, so I will see you all tomorrow in the morning. Alright guys, so it is daytime here now, so you guys can get a better look at the Corvette, but we did get it home the other night guys, and it drove home, and besides the smoking, everything on this car went well. But here's the thing, I did some research on the smoking because even though I know it's residual, I'm still scared about it because smoke coming out of the engine is not a good thing at all. So through some research I did, was some people were saying that it can take a day or two or even up to a week to get that smoke completely cleared out of the car's system. And some guy even said that if it gets into the catalytic converters, and I looked at those exhaust tips in the back and there is oil on them, so oil did get into the exhaust. But here's the thing guys, once I found out that some guy said that it takes 10 hours to get oil out of the system if it gets into the cats, or up to a week, either or, we decided that we should go ahead and take this for a quick drive just so we can get that time in on this car so we can get the smoke cleared out as fast as possible. And to our surprise, on our test drive guys, the smoke stopped coming out of the car. We did a really big pull guys, and the smoke is no longer there. I guess it's from the fact that we cleaned the system out as good as we did. We got all that oil out, so me and my brother, when we took it for the drive, no smoke at all guys, and we're super relieved about that. Should we see if it makes smoke?
Yeah.
But one thing we did find out at the end of our drive is we found out that, as you guys can see, this car's not sitting very good right here. On the other side, it's a bit worse. If you guys come over here, look at the way these wheels are just cambered in right here and how close they're under the quarter panels basically. And we did even take out the spacers over here. We found out that those struts are blown, so we got some new struts. We're going to be installing those in the next video. And then spacers wise, I ordered 1/2 inch spacers, which is what this car had from the beginning, but they were just metal plates spacing out the wheels. They didn't have new studs, so I didn't want to use those because it's not really good for the car to have the nut so far out on the stud. So we ordered those, but they gave us 1-inch ones, and we put them on the car and they look really good, but they're just not practical because when the car's suspension travels, it's going to hit those quarter panels and it's not going to be good. So we took them out of the back, and I got some 1/2 inch spacers, some actual 1/2 inch spacers, the ones that I was planning on getting, and we got those in too, so those will be in the next video. We're going to switch them out on all 4 corners guys. But in this video you guys saw that this car is now running. We got the grinding noise to stop, we got the oil to stop, and now finally we got the smoking to stop. So guys, that is going to be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we're going to be working on this car again, and we're going to be getting this thing sitting right and driving correct, because we are also going to get an alignment. But that is all for today's video guys. If you're loving this Corvette build, be sure to go down below, hit that like button. While you're at, there's a shiny red subscribe button that you should click. But that is all for today's video guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.